Welcome to Lesson 6 of MySci Unit 15, Observing Weather Patterns. In Lesson 6, students will answer the question, how can we use weather data to create a weather report? Students will use their data collection from Lesson 5 to create a weather report that includes temperature, wind speed, air pressure, wind direction, and precipitation. They figure out that weather forecasts are predictions of future weather conditions created using patterns identified in weather data. In the Engage portion of this lesson, students will review the components that make up a weather report. They will then observe a 7-day forecast for weather in St. Louis. Students will discuss the difference between a weather report and a weather forecast. They should recognize that a weather report is about past or present weather, and a weather forecast is about future weather. Meteorologists can look at a weather report to determine the accuracy of their forecast. Students can provide examples of times they have made predictions and how they determined if it was accurate. In the Explore portion of this lesson, students will consider if a forecast is the same as a guess and support their ideas with reasoning. Student ideas should be recorded in a chart. A possible example is depicted here. Students will then watch a video about weather forecasting to obtain information about how meteorologists use weather tools to make a forecast. Add any new ideas to the class Forecast versus Guess chart. In the Explain portion of this lesson, students will use the data they collected to create a weather report and a weather forecast. Before beginning, students should read the Weather Report and Forecast rubric to understand the criteria for each component. Their weather report should present the collected data completely and in a way that is easy for others to understand. Similarly, their weather forecast should be complete and easy for others to understand as well. They must have made clear connections between the data collected, trends, and predictions for the next week with more than 2 pieces of evidence. Students can use the Weather Report and Forecast Planning sheet to plan for and create their weather report and weather forecast. In the Elaborate portion of this lesson, students will present their weather report and forecast to the class. This could also be done as a gallery walk. Students should write a short reflection about their presentation in their student journal. Evaluate the students using the rubric and provide feedback for each pair or group. In the Evaluate portion of this lesson, students will complete a formative assessment. Students will analyze the average monthly temperature at St. Louis's Lambert International Airport in 2016 and 2017. Students will describe the patterns they observe and make predictions about the average temperature in 2018. By the end of this lesson, students will have represented weather data in tables and graphs to reveal patterns and relationships, combined weather data to create a weather report, and used previous weather data to make a forecast for future weather.